If you have ever asked a vegetarian why they don't eat meat, you have probably heard someone reply with environmental reasons. While it is true animal agriculture is the leading cause of greenhouse gas emissions, water consumption, and deforestation, I am going to raise issues about the consumption of meat by illustrating ecological efficiency. Ecological efficiency is the efficiency with which energy is transferred from one trophic level to the next. An entire lesson could be dedicated to learning about trophic levels, but for this video all you need to know is a trophic level is a collection of organisms that share the same position in a food web, and that all the energy in a food web comes from plants converting sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide into glucose. Now, calculating ecological efficiency is a difficult task because in order to do so, one must know exactly how much food is being eaten, the amount of energy in the food, and the energy in the feces of the animal. It is also necessary to consider that ecological efficiency varies from species to species and diet to diet. For example, ectotherms are more efficient at absorbing energy than endotherms, and cows are more efficient at absorbing energy from grass than from grain. Acknowledging the complications which lead to disparities in calculations, we are going to use the reasonable and widely cited estimate that 10% of the energy in one trophic level is transferred to the next every time an organism eats another in a typical ecosystem. This means that roughly 90% of the energy in a trophic level is lost when it is transferred to a higher trophic level. Now you are probably wondering, where does the energy go? To answer this, ask yourself, where does your energy go? Every day you put energy into breathing, moving, thinking, digesting food, and many autonomic bodily functions. If a lion was to eat you, it would not gain the energy that you spent scrolling through 200 memes on the internet. Basically, energy is lost in anything an organism does outside of a predator's stomach, but energy lost does not stop there. Even after being eaten, not all the food will be absorbed by the body. Energy is still lost as fecal matter. Therefore, there is never a completely efficient transfer of energy from one trophic level to the next, and it can be concluded that the vast majority of available energy is lost when food passes from one trophic level to the next. So, what does this have to do with sustainability or ending world hunger? Well, there is a limited amount of space on Earth where food crops can be grown. That means there is a limited amount of potential food energy with which we can be fed, which means there is a limit to how many of us this planet can hold. So if we want to be able to sustain people on this planet for as long as possible, we should figure out how to slow our population growth, increase the amount of food we can grow, and minimize extraneous energy loss. One of these things is drastically easier than the others. Can you guess which one? It's minimizing energy loss. You see, being an omnivore gives us the power to decide which trophic level we occupy and therefore the ecological efficiency of our diets. It is important to point out that energy does not cycle through an ecosystem like nutrients such as carbon do. Rather, energy comes into the ecosystem from the sun and organisms absorb it and transform it to other forms of energy such as kinetic energy and heat. So every time we decide what we are going to eat, we are also deciding how much energy will be lost forever as heat. To better understand how much energy our food costs, let's do some calculations using the 10% approximation. Let's say we have 10,000 kilograms of grass in a food web. Assuming 10% efficiency, 1,000 kilograms of rabbits could be fed from the grass. If the average rabbit weighs 1.2 kilograms, then that means 833 rabbits could potentially live off the 10,000 kilograms of grass. From the 1,000 kilograms of rabbits, 100 kilograms of foxes could be fed. If the average fox weighs 7 kilograms, then 14 foxes could be fed from the 833 rabbits. Now you may be thinking, 833 rabbits could feed way more than 14 foxes. This is true, but only for a shorter period of time. What is important to understand is that the energy transfers are occurring over the same amount of time for each transfer. So the time it takes 833 rabbits to eat 10,000 kilograms of grass is the same amount of time it takes 14 foxes to eat 833 rabbits. Now practicing is how we learn, so now I'm going to let you try it, but with using corn, cows, and humans. If we have 10,000 kilograms of corn and the average cow weighs 900 kilograms and the average human weighs 70 kilograms, let's find out how many cows can be fed from the corn and then how many people can be fed from the beef. Pause the video here to figure it out yourself. Using the 10% approximation, you should conclude that about 1 cow could live off the corn, and about 1 average-sized person and 1 small person could live off the cow. But since we are omnivores, that means we can cut out the middleman, the cow, and get straight to the source, the corn. So now I want you to calculate how many people could be fed with the 10,000 kilograms of corn. Pause the video here to figure it out yourself. From 10,000 kilograms of corn, 1,000 kilograms of people could be fed, or about 14 average-sized people. That's a lot more than the 1.4 people living off the cow. In fact, it's 10 times more. You see, by dropping a trophic level, we are reducing wasted energy and increasing the amount of people we can feed by a factor of 10. This is important considering the fact that someone on the planet dies of hunger-related issues every 4 seconds. Although there is plenty of food on Earth for everybody, the issue is many people cannot afford the food. But what we have learned is if we decrease energy waste by eating less meat and eating more plants, there will be drastically more food available, which will make food more affordable for everyone. So if you want more people to have food in their stomachs, all you have to do is eat a little more plant stuff and a little less animal stuff. Thanks for watching, everyone.